Hello guys, not a fun video to make, but an important one for all Age of Empires 2 fans and also players in our scene. And this has been a topic that I have been avoiding for many years. I've tried to do what I can to encourage some improvement in this regard. Nothing really has happened. So we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to try and present the topic as best as possible. The topic of this video is smurfing. So first, let's just describe briefly what a smurf is. Generally speaking, smurf is if someone has an additional account. Oftentimes, if someone uses that additional account to noob bash or something. But sometimes you might say someone has a smurf and they just have an alt account. Depends what you call it. Alt, smurf. Either way, there is a lot of alt accounts or alternate accounts that are used that don't have a lot of malice in it, okay? That's not really what I'm talking about in this video. Obviously, that can be the case, but sometimes, you know, you hit your elo high. Let's say you hit the elo high of 1600, but you're normally around like 1550 or 1525. Some people will just like sit on their elo high for a little bit, say they're a 1600 elo player, and then play a little bit below. There's like no intention of, trying to intentionally make other people's experiences worse in the game for their own benefit, all right? So in this video, when we're talking about smurfing, we are talking about intentionally losing games to lower your rank to get easier opponents and essentially noob bash, right? I'm just going to say right off the bat, this is crap. And anyone who does it should really think long and hard about doing it because probably one of the main reasons they're doing it is they don't enjoy losing. And yeah, losing's not fun, right? But realistically, eventually, if you continue to play the game with the way our elo system works, you're going to have a win-loss ratio of roughly 50%. There are exceptions, of course. Someone who's very lower ranked may be closer to 35 or 40% loss, win. And then, of course, the people at the very top hit like maybe the 70%, 65% win rate as well. But like for the majority of players, this includes myself, even all the way at the high ranks. I think my win rate's like 53%. Should be roughly within there. Guys, this game is awesome. And as far as I'm concerned, this game came back from the dead, okay? This game should not exist anymore. We should not have what we have. We should be very grateful for it. And I think everyone who plays this game has that appreciation. So it really freaking pisses me off when I see the prevalence of smurf accounts in our scene. You really don't have to look that hard to find them. I'm going to go through a couple profiles here, and basically you could look at the stats on this first one, and you can see less than 5 minutes, this individual has 597 matches with only 38 wins, which means the only other times they lost was when someone resigned before them. In a lot of these cases, these individuals are consistently resigning at the start of games and queuing up for more matches. What you're going to find is they have a very, very high win rate for games they essentially do play. So this individual would probably be higher ranked than where they are, but they're throwing games. If you go to profiles, you can look at the up and down graph and you could see, this actually isn't that crazy, but this individual has gone up and down by 200 elo. And then more recently, you can see a ton of losses to drop back down. Maybe this individual just, has a couple too many beers before he plays some days. Or maybe this person is intentionally resigning all the time and it is incredibly frequent. I mean, look at this, right? This is just recent games. Here, 1 minute, 52 seconds. Here, 1 minute and 2 seconds. Here, 1 minute and 38 seconds. Clearly, they have a down pat because we're going to talk about how the game doesn't pick up on this stuff, which is horrible. But yeah, they have a system, and I bet you if I were to continue to go through this profile, I would find that their losses are never legit losses. Here's another one. 309 matches before 5 minutes with 10% win rate. Notice the win rates. Very long games. Seems to do very well if the game is actually played out to a decent length. Here's another one. We have 491 matches with 25 wins here, 5%. Look at the win rates here, guys. 90% here, 100% here, 96%. This person doesn't belong wherever they are, and it's not even close. Here, this player doesn't have quite as many games, but you'll notice 68 matches before 5 minutes with only 2 wins, and then win rate seems pretty freaking decent the longer the game goes. Not as egregious, but still very clear it's happening. 318 matches end before 5 minutes with 6% win rate for this individual. 819 at 12.3%. That's a ton. Crazy win rates at the top. 434, 5% win rate. And again, crazy win rate through the top. And this just keeps going. 1,700 matches at 3.5%. And it just keeps going. won almost 2,000 matches. Now, they did have 445 wins. Props to them, I guess. I don't know what's going on there. Clearly a Smurf here. This individual I actually had in a video once. This is particularly bad. 1,500 matches. Lots of wins. Clearly is better than these players they're playing. Here's another one. 1,000 matches. 127 wins. Just clearly dropping tons and tons of games. And then this one doesn't have quite as much to work with, but still 204 matches at 6.4% win rate. Clearly winning most of their matches. Now, you might be wondering, like, what inspired you to make this video now, T90? Well, a couple things. Honestly, the main thing is I recently started a new series, which is super cool, called my Zero Elo Uncle. My uncle who had no RTS background, no Age of Empires 2 background, started playing the game because of this channel. If you've watched those episodes, you know he did get down to Zero Elo. He is very inexperienced, and he's really struggling to get wins. And I've been following his journey and following his games. And then one evening, he texts me and says, someone just recognized me from one of your videos. He mentions he had so much army, and he also gave me relics. And said a couple other things, and basically was like, this person was a very big fan of the channel, and taught him a couple things. Here's the individual's account, and you can see this individual was 600 elo, and promptly lost, I don't know how many games, to get all the way down to 0. It's one thing if you want to throw a couple games to be like 6 or 70 elo below where you are, but this guy ended up going all the way down to 0. Maybe it was just so he can get word to my uncle that he thinks I'm cool, but he essentially just curb stomped my uncle, and it wasn't even close. He was toying with him the entire game, even though he was being nice. I mean, here's a look at the minimap, right? Like, this wasn't even close. And yeah, at one point, he walks into the base, gives my uncle relics. I mean, we're talking 0 seconds of TC idle time, crazy eco management. He's playing SimCity, and you could see the resources collected difference. It wasn't even close. And so this kind of pissed me off. The thing is that it's already so difficult for him to get wins right now, and he's trying to play the legit way. But there's been multiple instances where people are throwing games even against him, or it's someone who throws games to get down to the elo to encounter him in the ladder, which is horrible. And so I've reported these accounts. Here's one, for example. He got a couple wins in a row against the same guy who just tossed a bunch of games. I've reported these accounts, and I just really feel like I shouldn't have to be doing it. Like, I've got connections, right? I have the ability to reach out to people, but why is there no action taking against accounts which are so egregious unless I put in a report? And sometimes I don't even know if there is an action taken against these accounts, because if I do report them on ageofempires.com and leave a support ticket, which all of you guys can do anytime you encounter something, sometimes I don't get a response, or if I do, I don't really actually believe the actions taken against these individuals are necessarily taken, right? We've all been there. We've all left a report. We're told, hey, we're going to act on it. I pay attention to the accounts, and they're like still playing. So I don't know like what even happened. There have been an increasing amount of posts around the community about this. Here's a Reddit post. It says, I'm around 800 to 900 elo with a substantial number of games played. I know I'm not great. I'm bad at multitasking and I make silly mistakes all the time. That's fine. I can live with that. Losing because I'm bad is totally fine. But lately, I just haven't been in the mood to load up the game because smurfing is completely out of control. The other evening, I played 8 ranked games, and 6 of them were against obvious smurfs. Now, not maybe smurfs, blatant ones. Sure, smurfing happens in every online game. I get that. But AoE isn't a quick 5-minute shooter where you just say GG go next. You can spend 30 to 45 minutes playing against someone you've never had a chance against, and by the end of the night, it's just exhausting. Just today, I played against someone with over 500 resigns under 1 minute. It's ridiculous. I report these accounts, but nothing ever seems to happen. It really feels like nobody's reviewing this stuff. Is anyone else running into this constantly? I'm really at the point where I felt like queuing for a game is a waste of time. Now, I'll be honest. A couple years ago, I might have seen a post like this, and my instinct would be to think, okay, this person's losing, and they're coping with their loss, saying the opponent's a smurf. There's an old kind of funny saying. It's like, anytime I win, it's because my strategy's better and I'm more skilled. And anytime I lose, it's because my opponent is a smurf or has a civ win. Obviously, you know, people could sometimes blame things that are and say things that are not actually the case. But I reached out to this individual. I got a lot of the accounts, and I got to say, they have a point. And I don't have any facts on this. I really don't. But I'm pretty damn certain, just based on community feedback over years and years and years, people I've talked to, just, you know, being around, I kind of doubt that the in-game report system even works. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong on that. Maybe it does work, but in my experience, the best way to get any type of response is to go to the ageofempires.com website, go to the support system, and lodge a report there. I don't know if it's true, man, but something's going on, and this is really, really bad. I mean, you don't have to look far to look through to find accounts that do this. I found some of the more egregious ones, man, but this is becoming really commonplace. And guess what? This game is hard. So if other people are doing it, everyone else is going to do it. It's very easy with family sharing to have multiple accounts. And now it doesn't seem like there's any legit punishment for when people are intentionally throwing games and essentially just curb stomping people and making everyone else's experience worse. So kind of the point of this video is I would like to encourage the devs to implement something that actually looks for this. Like, why did I have to report the individuals who lost 1,000 games before 4 minutes? Like, it's super easy to find. Why am I, a content creator, doing the reporting there? The average player doesn't do homework on people's profiles. The average player is just going to play the game and have a bad experience. This is just like really, really bad. I've loved a lot of the DLCs that we've had. I'm glad the game is growing. There's so much new content that's amazing. But also at the same time, it's like many people have bought Age of Empires 2 for their third time just getting the definitive edition. So many people have come back, are buying all the DLCs. I mean, how many DLCs are released? How much money is being made? And there's no improvement to something that is improving the overall experience for the player base. So yeah, that's the video. It really sucks. I think it's really bad. I feel for anyone that runs into it. Also, I think it's prevalent enough that there's going to be some people watching this who do this. I mean, particularly the guy who smurfed to get down to my uncle's level. It's not cool, man. Like, don't do it. Like, this contributes to people playing the game less, and before you know it, the game shrivels down and dies. Everyone's playing the new stuff. Who knows? Maybe the servers are gone. The DLCs are gone. Tournaments are gone. And sure, like, smurfing alone isn't necessarily going to, kill the game. But I feel like it could, man. I feel like it can build up. It can leave a negative feeling in people's minds. People are already so scared to play online. It is already so brutal, which is a whole nother video, for people trying to get into ranked in the first place if they're kind of new. So be better. Just be better. And also, devs, seriously, take a look at it, please, because it's not great. I would encourage you, if you do run into situations like this, to use the ageofempires.com website. I do not know if the in-game reporting system works. I believe that is a really, really big problem. I also have no confirmation that's the case. And yeah, that's the video. Hated this. Really did. Okay, it's not a fun topic. It's not entertaining, but it needed to be said by somebody, finally. So, yeah, hopefully it gets better. We'll have a really fun video coming up soon. We'll have the next update about my uncle coming up soon. We will review some of his struggles, some of his positives, all the fun he's having, all the stress he's having. It'll be great. And it'll be better than this. So like the video, leave a comment if you enjoyed or at least or stand behind it. And